Hey everyone, it's Steve here at the DJ Lab. Take a look at the new Pioneer DJ PLX-CRSS12, better known as the Cross 12. And the reason they call it that, because it's a hybrid turntable. Essentially, what this thing does is it can create a controlled tone, like the tone that's created by, the Serato vinyls and the record box vinyls that spit out that woo noise. This thing can do that, and it can actually play vinyl just by flicking a switch up in the menu there. That's it. Just change it from digital to vinyl. And you don't need to be running USB to do it either. But of course, you're going to need USB if you want to use the pads and you want the screen to work. Let me just go through a couple things here. I don't want to make a huge long video because lots of guys out there are doing really in-depth reviews. I just want to give you my 2 cents on the whole thing. This is the genius move right here. Whoever created this, really, hats off to them. This was very smart. The platter has this magnetic piece inside that turns. This is part of how it's doing the controlled tone stuff, right? So you need to have this magvel clamp on it in order to make the controlled tone side of things, the digital part, work. This means you don't need a piece of vinyl on there to do this. You could just click this on top of a slip mat and it's going to work. But obviously you're going to probably put some piece of vinyl, but it could be actual vinyl. So your favorite record, you got a scratch sentence record that you can put on, use your Serato, and then be able to jump back and forth to actually use your actual record and then jump back over to use your time code signal is genius. And because the way this thing clamps down, if you have a warped record, it's going to help that for playback. And you can adjust it so you're adjusting the tension of the record. So if you want to be a little bit tighter, you want it to be a little bit looser, it's going to suit your style however you DJ. Having 3 levels of torque control, that's great. Me personally, I've always heard from everyone that you want to have super high torque. So I'm not sure why you'd want to turn it down, but I'm not a turntablist, so I really wouldn't know. Your brake speed, you got a switch on the front, 3 levels of braking speed. One is obviously instant, one is a little bit slower, one's slower. Nice little switch there. Looks very much like the switch right out of the Pioneer DJ A9, the V10. I'm sure you can recognize that switch. Then we're down to the pads here. Originally, when I saw that I had pads in order to operate hot cues and stems and my sampler and your scratch banks and all that other fun stuff, I thought, why do I need that? I have an S11. I have all those pads here. But then it hits me. I'm not a turntablist. I don't scratch mix. Back in the day, dicers used to sit right there on a 1200, right? And the tricks they could do, because their hand was close to the platter, and with that same hand that they're scratching with, they could trigger things off while they're doing stuff with the crossfader. You can't do that with an S11. So my initial thought was, why would I need these pads? I have all kinds of MIDI control on my mixer. Well, this is the reason. Someone else mentioned to me that what if you're using a mixer that doesn't have pads? Well, if you're using the A9 mixer, for instance, with Serato, I think you're missing out on a lot of stuff because the S11 was kind of designed for it and has a lot of great features with the touch screen, with your smooth echo, and some of the effects that are built in that make this a much better mixer, in my opinion, for Serato versus using an A9, which seems to be suited better for CDJs, as far as I'm concerned, in a standalone mode. The OLED screen is nice. I don't know if I was using this thing, how often I would need to look down at my BPM there versus looking at my Serato screen. But if you want to have the screen off to the side and try not to get Serato face, I guess this is helpful. And it also allows you to go through a menu system to pick your deck and do a couple other things there. Change your torque and etc. They have this switch and power supply, so now it eliminates the transformer power supply vibration and flux leakage, and unwanted noises suppressed, resulting in high resolution sound quality. So I'm imagining that if you were to set this beside a 1200 and really run it through its courses, this technically should sound a little better. The matte black is nice. I just did a video talking about how I just did white skins on all my equipment and how much I really like the white look. And I did a white skin on my Technique 1200, and white looks really nice. I really wish Pioneer, when they release new products, would not wait and release a limited edition. Just give me black and white day one, and I bet you would see the sales. White would outsell the black. I just feel like we should go into a time of the future to make things look a little nicer. You know, white sitting in the living room somewhere, at home looks nicer. At a venue, white looks really nice. And even from the marketing standpoint of Pioneer, your Pioneer DJ logo stands out way better on white with black print than black with white print, especially when you have different color lights going. Obviously, it works with Serato DJ Pro and Rekordbox, which brings me down to something else. Let me scroll right back up here quickly. I want to look right here. I do have a slight problem with DJ companies writing Serato and Rekordbox. Well, I guess obviously that's Pioneer that's doing that the most. I know it works with Rekordbox, and I know it works with Serato, and I might want to be a Rekordbox guy, or maybe I want to be a Serato guy, but I don't need to have the side that's facing the audience telling everybody what software is compatible with. There's no reason for it. I have CDJ 3000s that, okay, they do say Rekordbox up at the top corner under the source button. My mixer doesn't say anything about Rekordbox or Serato. My Denon DJ SE6000s don't make any mention about Serato or any other DJ software. Well, I guess they mention Engine, but because that's the software that's in it, right? And my DJM S11, thank God, it just says nothing. So maybe someone in the marketing department one day can just decide, I don't need to have these logos all over my gear. Give me some stickers, and if I want to put Serato on my stuff, I want to say Rekordbox, great. But really, I don't see the purpose of the extra silkscreen printing to remind people what two softwares it was designed to work with. And that's really, honestly, my only gripe with this turntable at all. The position of the pitch fader, didn't like it on the Rev 7 because I'm not a turntablist. I don't turntable, or I don't use turntables in battle style. I use them in traditional style when I'm using them, which isn't that often. But I can definitely look at this whole turntable and say, hey, you're a battle style scratch guy, you're going to love this turntable. The rest of us that were not scratch DJs, you're probably not going to love this thing. You're not going to run out and grab it because it wasn't meant for you anyways. We have lots of other things from Pioneer DJ to spend our money on. We don't need to buy this. The rest of you scratch DJs, you might run out and grab it. And I'm hoping your stores nearby are going to at least have a pair of these things out there for you to try, because this feels like one of these things that once you try it, you're going to want to have it. Anyways, feel free to comment below. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to check out all the videos that everyone's done. Mojax, Cleveland Terry, Crossfader, DJ City. They all had these things. They've done some great videos showing these things off to see what they can really do, because I'm not the guy to show it off. I'm the DJ Lab. Talk to you all soon. Have a good one.